Good evening, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for September 25th, 2014, around 7:56 in the evening. The sun's down, some clouds, but we haven't gotten any raindrops around here. Maybe some steady rain down in the Cape where they could pick up a ½ to an inch of rain. We do need the rain around here. It's getting very dry. Some of the rivers and streams, especially in Billerica area, are getting very, very dry. And some news to report. Minnesota Twins pitcher Phil Hughes has declined an offer to pitch a third of an inning because if he did, he would reach 210 innings, and that would trigger a clause in his contract to get a $500,000 bonus. Last night, Phil pitched 8 innings, but the rains came in the game. He was like 209 2/3 of an inning. He missing out on his by a third of an inning, and it's good that he did not want to take the $500,000. Also, the Nashville Predators re-signed defenseman Ryan Ellis to a 5-year contract extension worth $12.5 million. And that's about it on the news. And my third and final video blog of the night is about my personality profile. It's about Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Kamala was one of the most famous wrestlers in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And he was from deepest, darkest Africa. That's what he was built from. And he was like a Ugandan giant. And he televised a lot of territories, WWE, WCW, World Class, Mid-South, and other territories. Kamala's real name is James Harris. He was born in Mississippi, and he grew up there. His father owned a furniture store, but tragedy struck when he was 4. James's father was shot and killed while playing a dice game, and that was devastating to his family. His family had to go on welfare because of the death of his father, and James started in his teenage years to steal. He stealed a lot, and by the age of 17, he was told to leave town where he lived in Mississippi because they said if he continued to steal, he probably would have been dead because of so much crime. So he had to move to Florida, and he got job picking fruit. And then in 1975, he moved to Michigan, and that's when he met legendary professional wrestler and WWE Hall of Famer, the late Bobo Brazil. And James Harris wanted to be a pro wrestler, so Bobo Brazil told him to train for his longtime personal friend, Tiny Tim Hampton, and in his class to train for professional wrestling with James Harris was such legendary wrestlers as Michael P.S. Hayes and Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Percy Pringle, who became Paul Bearer in the WWE. And James started his professional wrestling career in Southern wrestling territories in the late 70s as under the names Sugar Bear Harris, Ugly Bear Harris, and Big Jim Harris. Then he moved to wrestle for a few years in the United Kingdom, and he used the name the Mississippi Mauler, and that character was similar to the Ugandan giant Kamala. In 1982, Jim Harris moved back to the United States, and he went to the Memphis territory, and the owners of the Memphis wrestling territory, Jerry the King Lawler and Jerry Jarrett, rebranded Jim Harris as the Ugandan giant Kamala from Uganda. And the gimmick was he had war paint all over his face. He had symbols painted on his body, and he carried a mask, kind of one of those tribal masks, and he also had kind of a stick, and he had a handler named Friday, and sometimes going into the ring he would do Ugh, that's how Kamala was. And he's famous with chops, and stuff like that. His favorite move was the big splash. And then sometimes he would have the opponent, like, not the wrong way to pin, so they had to, he roll him over, and then his handler Friday to roll him over. They do 1, 2, 3. Kamala was a hit in Memphis, and then he moved to the Mid-South territory, where he became managed by Skandor Akbar, and he had a feud with Andre the Giant there. Then he moved to World Class Championship Wrestling, and he feuded with the Von Erichs and stuff. His first national exposure for a major wrestling promotion was in 1984. In the summer, he came to the WWE. He was managed by Classy Freddie Basley with the handler Friday, and he had a feud with Andre the Giant. They had some steel cage matches. Also, on Tuesday Night Titans, it was a live talk show. Kamala ate a live chicken, but not really. It was just shown that he was eating, but they had to cut through it, and then they showed him with the feathers. I don't know if he really ate the chicken. I don't think he did. Then Kamala bounced around from territory to territory. He was one of those characters who did not stick around in a territory forever. And then he made periodically appearances in the WWE in the mid-1980s, 1986 through 1987. He was managed by The Wizard, who was King Kurus Ayakeda, and Friday was rebranded Kimchi. Kimchi was played by longtime WWE jobber, the Brooklyn Brawler Steve Lombardi, and Kamala had matches with Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. They had a few at Madison Square Garden, and then also Jake the Snake Roberts. And then Kamala left the WWE again in late 1987. Then he bounced around from smaller territories. He went to the USWA, and he feuded with Jerry the King Lawler, and he won the Unified World Championship 4 times. In 1992, around the springtime, Kamala came back to the WWE, and he was managed by Dr. Harvey Whippleman, and Kimchi was his handler again. And then he got into a feud with The Undertaker, and Kamala was afraid of The Undertaker. They had a match at SummerSlam. It ended in disqualification. They continued their feud over the fall. Paul Bearer would bring it down a casket, and Kamala was afraid. And in Survivor Series 1992, The Undertaker wrestled Kamala in a casket match. This was the first casket match that was on live pay-per-view for the WWE. They had casket matches in house shows before that, and The Undertaker beat Kamala easily. And then afterwards, Kimchi and Dr. Harvey Whippleman was being more aggressive on Kamala, bullying him and slapping him, but then Revlon Slick, who used to be a heel manager in the WWE, found God, and that was his gimmick. But actually, in real life, Slick's real name's Kenneth Johnson, and he's really a minister. And then they brought the gimmick with Reverend Slick. He was seeing the Kamala, and then Kimchi attacked Slick, and then Kamala went wild, beating up Kimchi and stuff, and afterwards, Slick became the new manager of Kamala, and he was trying to civilize him, making them become more civilized and stuff like that. It was a face turn for Kamala, even though the face turn was not good. It sucked. But some of the skits they showed on video, Revlon Slick was teaching Kamala how to bowl. Very funny skits, but that went nowhere. And by the mid-1993, Kamala left the WWE, and he for a few years he left the business together. He actually rode a truck in his native Mississippi. 1995, Kamala came back to professional wrestling for WCW, and he was part of the Dungeon of Doom with Kevin Sullivan. He got a minor push. He beat Hacksaw Jim Duggan at WCW Bash at the Beast 95. He wrestled Hulk Hogan at the Clash of the Champions 1995, and he was also in War Games, Fall Brawl WCW pay-per-view, part of the Dungeon of Doom against Hulk, against him and Zodiac and Shark, and main wrestled Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger, Sting, and the Macho Man Randy Savage, but the Dungeon of Doom lost, and then Kamala left the WCW soon afterwards. He did not sign a contract with WCW. He was just paid per appearance, and the WCW did not want Kamala on long term because he was age, plus he had some health problems around then. He started to develop diabetes, high blood pressure. Sometimes, like, he was still on the independent circuit, but he didn't appear too much. He made appearances from the WWE from time to time. Gimmick Battle Royal 2001. Sometimes he would appear at 2004 the Diva Search, trying to seduce a WWE legend, and it was Kamala, but Kamala's and also he appeared on SmackDown 2005 to wrestle Randy Orton and a couple of other appearances. And by the late 2000s, Kamala's health was deteriorating and stuff like that. And also he found he wrote music and some music on the side and stuff. And Kamala was kind of criticized. He was criticized the wrestling business because when he was wrestling in main event matches, he said he was getting paid poorly. He said he wrestled when he wrestled Hulk Hogan at Madison Square Garden in 1987. He only got a payoff at $800. I don't know if I believe that, because if your main event in Madison Square Garden on a house show against Hulk Hogan, you probably could be making at least $1,500 or more. And also he says when he wrestled The Undertaker at SummerSlam 92, he only got paid $13,000, and The Undertaker got paid $500,000. And Kamala's career ended in 2011 when he had one of his legs amputated because of the diabetes and the high blood pressure. His other leg was amputated soon afterwards, and ever since then people have been raising funds for Kamala to get prosthesis legs and stuff. He still sings and music. He does still music and stuff like that, and a lot of people think Kamala's one of the kind of a tragic figure in professional wrestling, but he was one of the most famous characters. Kind of the gimmick where the Ugandan Giant was probably a very successful gimmick, but it could not stay around at a territory for long because it would get stale and stuff like that. And Kamala probably won't go into the WWE Hall of Fame because of the criticism of he says about the wrestling business, but that's a shame because he's kind of Hall of Fame material. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. I hope you're getting to enjoy these video blogs, and I like to entertain everybody. Well, tomorrow's subjects, at least one of them, I'm confirming, will be the top 10 greatest television cartoons of all time, and then 2 others I'll tell on the last Facebook status. And don't forget, coming soon, blogs about Julie Broughton, Local News 6 weekend meteorologist, Heidi Pratt, Janelle Tobin, and Crystal Pistol. All 4 of them are going to get video blogs sooner or later. As Vince McMahon would say, I guarantee it. Good night, everybody.